Welcome to Brand Builders TV. Deep dive topics, tools and resources brought to you by global thought leaders from within the Brand Builders Club. This show gives you access to the strategies that you can use to move forward with ease and flow in every area of your life and business. In today's show, Simon shares how you can learn these tried and tested strategies to increase your child's resilience. Simon knows a lot about this topic as he was badly bullied as a child, so nothing gives him more pleasure than hearing a child telling him that other kids cannot upset them anymore, or even hearing the same thing through a parent or teacher who's learned how to bully-proof their child by working with Simon. Simon started working with kids in 2013 and found his true vocation, inspiring kids to be happy and working with their parents to do just that. So sit back and enjoy today's show. Learn it, model it, and get shit done. Let's go.
Hi, good morning everybody and welcome to Brand Builders TV. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make your child bully proof. So what do I mean by bully proof? What I mean is your child doesn't get upset by other kids picking on them, bullying them, whether that's at school, in the playground, or when the teachers aren't looking, or whether that's by text message, but whether that's online cyberbullying. Just imagine if your child was totally immune to bullying, so that nobody could upset them. How would that be? We hear so much in the media these days about how big a problem bullying is, and everybody's focused on trying to change the behaviour of the bullies. That's what everybody's focused on. So if parents of children who are bullied, they will relentlessly go at the schools to stop the bullying happening, and they should do exactly that. But there's another way of tackling this, which is to build up your child's immunity to bullying before it happens or whilst it's happening, if it's already happening. And that is what that's what I've discovered over the last. I discovered that 7 years ago. So 7 years ago, I woke up one sunny July morning, excuse me, with an idea of writing a kids book about happiness, and that turned into conversations with kids about my concept. It turns into conversations with head teachers and with teachers in schools. And by November 2013, I was going into schools, working with kids. And the fourth session that I did, I was honing my message and taking my process and trying it out and seeing what works. We learn. If you're in business, you're watching Brand Builders TV. So I'm guessing that you're in business and you've also got a child, which is why you're watching this. We learn by experimentation. We learn to do stuff by doing it. We don't learn it. We get some insight from books and from trainings, but we learn on the job. Learning to be a brand builder, learning to be an entrepreneur is on the job training, and so is learning how to be a parent. It is on the job. So I was learning on the job with kids, with a kids audience. What I discovered was that we can make children bully proof. That's not what I set out to do, though. I set out to make them happy, and I stumbled across a way to stop bullying, making them unhappy. So this was an author hot seat. I was working. I was the kids interviewed me about the comic that I was writing about children's happiness, and then we got into an activity session about helping them make their dreams come true. This is the way to engage any child in a conversation about bullying, confidence, resilience, whatever it is. We start from what matters to them, not what matters to us, what matters to them. And what matters to them is getting into the school football team, getting the lead part in the Christmas panto, whatever it is. Might be a short-term goal like that, might be a long-term goal like becoming a nurse. Whatever it is, we start the conversation with that. And then we get into the conversation about their feelings, and we empower them to ignore the other kids that say that they can't make their dreams come true. And from that, we then get into, it's a very short hop to helping them realize that no other child can actually upset them. No child can upset them. So I'd run this session. I was testing my process out. I wanted to find out what the children had learned. So I asked the children to write down what they'd learned and what they could now do, bearing in mind what they'd learned. And so I wondered, and I wasn't sure whether I was asking the question, was I patronizing the kids, talking down to them, or expecting more of them, talking up to them. So taking them above, out of their ability, beyond their abilities, or whether I was kind of just getting it just right. So I said to the children, I want you to write down what you've learned so that you can remember what you've learned today, and you can take it forward. So one little girl pulled me across and beckoned me over, and she said that she called me Mr. Benn, which made me feel very old at whatever I was in those days, 46, 7 years ago. I said, no, you can call me Simon. Please call me Simon. She said, yes, sure, certainly, Mr. Benn. So anyway, she said, I can go back to dance class. That's what she could do. That's what she had learned to do. That's what she was going to do on the back of what she'd learned. Now, we'd been talking and playing silly games, because kids learn more when having fun. We all learn more when we're having fun. So we'd spent 40 minutes, 45 minutes perhaps, talking about making the dreams come true, ignoring what J.K. Rowling would call the dementors in Harry Potter, that say we can't make our dream come true, and learning to ignore bullying. For about 5 minutes. And this girl had an insight. She'd had a realization. She'd seen something new. She'd had a leap in her resilience, a leap in her consciousness. Something had happened within that girl's mind, that she was going to go back to dance class. So I'm like, what's going on here? I don't fully get this. I asked her to explain more. She explained how she'd been bullied for being too good at dancing. Too good at dancing. I think the other girls clearly were jealous of her dancing skills. And she had, it got so bad. First off, she hadn't told the dance teacher. She hadn't told her mum and dad. She just stopped going to dance class. And that had broken her heart doing that. And it breaks my heart to think about that little girl going through that. Pretty horrible. But what she'd learned meant she was going back to dance class. And that meant that her dream was back on the cards, because she loves dancing. She told me she loves dancing. She loves watching Strictly on a Saturday night, and on a Sunday with the results show, Strictly Come Dancing. Dances with, if you're watching the States, I think this is called Dances with the Stars or something like that. that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a dancer, and that dream was off the cards. It was off the table because these other kids had made her dance classes a misery, and she stopped going. And that was the bad news. The good news was that she was going back to dance class, and the conviction in her voice showed me, well, it gives me tingles on my 7 years on. It gives me the hairs on the back of my neck standing up when I'm thinking about what that girl had seen and how what she'd seen for herself. Because it's not what I say, it's what the kids hear, and it's what the parents, and I work with parents on this approach, it's what they hear. I train parents in my approach to make their children bully proof, and it's what they hear from their children, and they pass that on to me, and that sets my world on fire. To hear the success stories, the change that's gone within a young mind, and kids are so open to this stuff. It's just absolutely fantastic. We're brought up to believe, and we live in a culture that changing our mind is a bad thing. I think changing our mind is a fantastic thing, because for so many of us as adults, we've got the bully from the playground has moved into our head, and we've got that internal bully that's telling us that we can't achieve what we're setting out to achieve in life and in our businesses. So changing our mind is a great thing, because it means essentially ignoring that bully in our head. The thing is that the kids find this, so they take to it like ducks to water. They find it, the change happens in an instant. They've got less rubbish in their head. They've been on the planet less time. They have less rubbish in their head. And it's absolutely stupendous for me, as I say, when I hear parents talking about how what I've shared with them and they've shared with their kids has set their kids' world on fire and changed their kids' their life trajectory around. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. But as I say, the bully proofing, it's not what I set out to do. I kind of stumbled across this with this thing. But stumbling across it gave me such joy, unbridled joy, because I was bullied pretty badly when I was a kid. So when I was really little, I used to suck my thumb, and my thumb went up between my teeth, my lower and my upper jaw, and I had what's called an overbite, which basically means my teeth stuck out, front teeth stuck out. It's funny to talk about it, like Bugs Bunny. So I got called Bugsy. I got called Bugs Bunny. That was kind of all right, getting called Bugsy. That was okay, but it was things like Ratty and Rodent, and the venom wasn't just what the kids said. It was how they said it to me. It was pretty upsetting. But that kind of bullying went on for a long time at school, and I didn't tell my parents what was going on, because they just said, well, all the time they just said, we just want you to be happy. So we just want you to be happy. And I wasn't happy, so I felt I was letting them down. That's why the little girl, the dancer, she hadn't told her parents about being bullied. As victims of bullying, we feel like it's our fault. The bullies make it about us, and we think there's something wrong with us. And as adults, we all think something wrong with us. We're not good enough at our jobs. We're not good enough entrepreneurs. We're not good enough parents, particularly the parent stuff. That that comes to me. That hits me all the time. That's what parents tell me all the time. They tell me that their children are being bullied and they don't know what to do about it. But, you know, they've not been trained in this stuff. It's no wonder they can't deal with it. So back to my story. I was talking about being bullied. So the name calling kind of paled into insignificance. The name calling that went on for years paled into insignificance when I think about what happened on Scout Camp when I was about 11. So I was new to this Scout troop. I didn't go to the same school as all the other kids. I didn't live in the same part of town as the other kids that are on the Scout troop. Well, not obviously, but I had the buck teeth there, so they picked on me for that. I didn't drink tea. So there was a catalogue of reasons that made me different. And bullies pick on difference, people that are different. And the main thing that the kids on this, well, it's the patrol leader, the guy in charge of our 10. So I was 10, 11, kids like 14 or 15, something like that. He picked on me because I kept on messing up, kept on making mistakes. I was new to scouting. I was collecting wood that wasn't dry enough to burn. I think that was the most stupid thing that I got bullied for. But every time that I messed up, which I messed up a lot, I'm not a very practical guy. I'm still not a very practical guy. He made me kneel on the floor on the grass, the wet grass, and repeat after him, "I am a stupid, worthless piece of," and then a lot of swear words. I had to repeat that stuff back to him when I messed up, and it was awful. I didn't tell anybody. I never went back to that scout troop after that. So that's why hearing these stories from parents, from kids, that they're bully proof really rocks my world. I find it humbling, inspiring. I feel like it's kind of nothing to do with me. It's just an idea that I kind of stumbled across. And I love it. I love doing it. I love working with parents. I never thought I had so much fun working with kids on this stuff. I never thought for one moment that I'd enjoy working with parents, or the idea of working with parents on it never crossed my mind. But a couple of years ago, somebody contacted me, and she'd seen my website, and she was in Egypt. I'm in North Yorkshire. Isn't it brilliant, the internet? And she said, I was talking to my husband. She said, I was talking to my husband about children's happiness, and I'd like to learn more about it. And so she wanted to learn more about it for her kids, but she also wanted to learn more about it. She does like sessions in schools about manners, about happiness, about manners. She said, I wanted to bring children's happiness into. I wanted to make my own kids happy, and I want to first and foremost, that's what I do. But I also want to, once I've learned that, I want to learn how to take it into schools. So that's, and I was like, I don't know, do I really want to do this? Is this going to work? All those things running through our head, all those that voice of doubt running through our head, and I just thought, no, let's give it a go. Let's experiment. Let's see what it is. And I was so shocked about how much I loved doing it. Not even in person. Did it on Zoom, on Skype, was it? Can't remember. Did it on the computer, and the connection and the delight in this mum when she shared how this had changed her stuff for her and for her kids. I thought it was just going to be about her kids. She thought it was just going to be about her kids. But what she found was essentially she became more confident about improving her kids' confidence. And that's really needed. I do a lot of research amongst parents, and they're at the wit's end. They don't know what to do. So let me get into that for a bit, because we've been going 20 minutes in. What do you do? How do you make your child bully proof? Well, the first thing that your child needs to see, and I'm choosing those words very carefully, your child needs to see, your children need to see, they need to see this for themselves. Okay. So this is not, I'm going to labour the point a little bit. This is not about what you say. It's about what they hear. It's not about what you point out to them. It's what they see after you have pointed that out to them. So this is about coaching rather than telling, put it bluntly. This is about questions. This is about using questions to draw the child's wisdom out of themselves, and get your children to see that it's not their fault. What's going on inside the bully is determining that child's behaviour. So the bully's scared, the bully's angry, the bully's worried about something, the bully's going through some tough time at home, whatever it is. And that is the reason, and they're taking that out, whatever that negative emotion is, on your child. So this is about helping your child understand human behaviour and how our feelings drive our behaviours, and how our thoughts drive our feelings, and how our self-identity, our view of ourselves, drives our thoughts, which drives our feelings, which drives our behaviours. And that's going on inside all of us, and it's all going on differently. So the first thing, that your child has to see that it's not their fault. And it isn't their fault. They have to see the truth of that. So again, back to my story, and this is something that I only discovered last year. So a friend of a friend, a guy called Bob. Hello, Bob. Bob Kennedy, great guy. Lives in Harrogate near me, and he's a fan of what I do. I think they've got a little boy. He's got a little boy. I think he's 7 or 8. I've not worked with Bob on this, but he's very interested in what I do, because obviously he's concerned about his child. What's more important than our children's happiness? And what's the biggest cause of children's unhappiness? Bullying. Or cyberbullying. Same thing. This stuff is emotional. It doesn't matter when it's in there. Building your child, making your child bully proof means it's that strength within them. And the tech companies think that cyberbullying is a tech problem because they've got a tech mindset. It's not. It's an emotional problem. So making your child bully proof means that they can that they are immune to all the different sorts of bullying, because it's an inside job. So back to Bob. So Bob was asking me about this, and I told him the story. I told him the story about the scout camp, and then I mentioned the name of the patrol leader, and the guy said, Bob said, "You mean?" And then he described him. He described this guy. He said, "I used to work with that guy. I used to work with that guy. I used to work with that guy in a washing up and waiting in a kitchen of a pub." He said, "He was always a nasty piece of work." And I thought, it's the final piece of the jigsaw for me, because Bob sharing that made me realize that it was never, I mean, I kind of knew that it was never my fault, right? But it took that knowledge to a deeper level. So, and I saw it at an even deeper level, that it wasn't my fault. And that's what the kind of like the first stage of working with your child is about. It's about helping them to that deeper realization, because we're brought up to believe that knowledge is a yes or a no. I either know that stuff or I don't know that stuff. It's either, in computer language, it's either a one or a zero. Yeah, so the computers work on all this stuff, code 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 0. It's either or it's black and white. Something's black or it's white. There is no shades of grey. But what we know isn't like that. We can know something kind of intellectually in our heads, but that's totally different to knowing something in our hearts, in our heart of hearts, or like an embodied understanding, knowing something deep in our bones. And knowing deep in my bones that guy was a troubled child himself, taking out, he took, I'm sure that he was copying his dad. I'm sure that he was doing to me what his dad had done to him. And that's become clearer and clearer, especially with the story about Bob stuff and the fact that it's a nasty piece of work. And that's how deep we have to kind of get stuff for it to be, so when you say it's sunk in, that's the same sort of thing. And that is another way of looking at the depth of the knowledge. And so where does that come from? That comes from insight. It comes from within us. It comes from within that the girl that could go back to, she decided she was going back to dance class. I was talking about the conviction, a level of conviction, a level of understanding, and how that was driving it. There was no two ways about it. She was going back to dance class. So how we get that is through how we get through that is coaching our kids. And I don't mean anything great techniquey stuff here. I mean by questions, stories, sharing our own vulnerability, because that's what's worked for me. And as adults, we're often afraid to show our vulnerability, to show what's gone wrong and in life, and how we felt. And that, for me, is the starting point, because if you're a parent, you're a leader, you're leading your child, and leaders go first. Leaders share. How much you share is clearly down to how much you're willing to share. I am not a parenting coach. I'm not going to tell you how to parent your child. That's down to you. That's your business. Me and my wife haven't got any kids. There's some medical reasons for that, but we haven't got any kids. So I'm not a parenting coach. I'm just a guy who's figured out how to inspire kids to make their dreams come true, make them happy, confident, make them bully-proof. So, and it's the best job in the world. So I'd love to hear from you. Simon, Benn, 2 N's.co.uk, and check me out. See if you want to have a chat. All my contact details on the website. You can book a free chat, no obligation, no commitment. Tell me about what's going on for you, and we'll see if we can help. Okay. Have a great Friday and have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.
I hope that you've enjoyed the show today as much as we've enjoyed making it for you. If you've got anything out of this episode, please do tell someone else how they can subscribe to the Brand Builders TV channel at youtube.com/brandbuilderstv. Why not join us at our next Brand Builders Thinkubator, a global mastermind that we run every week to take away the loneliness of being in business on your own. For more information and to book your place, visit light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. That's light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. Until next time, be the ripple that you wish to see in the world, and we'll see you soon.